we're going to be doing a primer on Node.js and JavaScript. So Tiff asked me to can you see my screen?
It's okay now. It's normal.
Okay, well, can you see my screen now?
Yep.
Okay. Well, anyways, we're going to be doing a primer on JavaScript and Node.js because Tiff asked me to give a primer on JavaScript. This is kind of overkill, but if you're doing server and database stuff, this is a pretty good primer, and Node actually is really quick to get up and running. So I'm going to give you this link. So you want to go to nodejs.org. I'm putting it in the chat right now. There's the chat. Nodejs.org/download, and then you need to download the Mac OS X installer for Mac, or you can do the Windows installer if you're running Windows. I believe I already have Node installed on my machine, but I'm going to send it. Keep, and then it's going to download, and you open it, and then you're going to run it. So it looks like this when you run it. Do you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
So it says, welcome to the Node installer. This package will install Node and npm to the user local bin. You see that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Continue, agree, all users, continue, install. It's gonna install. Yep. So if that has installed correctly, let me know when you're ready. You ready?
Yep.
Oh.
Wait, do you want me to have it downloaded?
Yeah, download it, install it, all that shebang.
Okay. It's taking a while.
Okay. Well, so after you've installed it, you need to go into Open Terminal, and it looks something like this. Okay, there's some really key commands that I need to teach you in order to make this work. So if you type in ls and hit enter, it'll show you all of the folders and files that are available in your current directory. So you have to imagine it as if you're opening Finder. ls will just show you what all of these files are, right? And it starts in your home directory, which is indicated by the little squiggly line. It's called a tilde, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you type ls, it'll print out all of the files that are available in your current directory. Now, to go into one of these files, you have to type cd for change directory, space, and then the folder that you want to go into. Folder, it has to be a folder, it can't be a file. Because if you try to change directory into a file, it'll be like, what the F, this is a file. So I'm going to go change directory into documents. So I type doc, and then you can hit tab to autocomplete. So I type capital, it has to be case sensitive, so cd space capital DOC. Hit tab and it completes. And then if you hit enter, you'll notice that now it says your computer name, colon, what folder you're in, which is documents, right?
Mm-hmm.
If at any point you're confused which folder you're in, you can type pwd, and it'll print out which folder you're currently in. So when I type pwd, it says users, my username, and then documents. So I'm going to create a new directory called projects. Okay, so I'm going to create a new folder in documents called projects. And to create a new folder, you have to type in the make directory, which is mk make dir space folder name. So mkdir is make directory, and I'm going to call it projects. Okay. And then you hit enter. Now you have a new folder. I already have a projects folder, so Now you have a new folder called projects. To get into projects, you just type cd and then projects, right?
Okay.
Enter. Now I'm in the projects folder. Okay. I have a whole bunch of stuff in here. I'm just gonna create another folder, mkdir. I'm gonna name it node lesson, and then I'm going to cd into my new node lesson folder. Now I have the folder that I want to build my first node project in. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to create a new file. Okay.
Okay.
And you can name it whatever you want, but it has to end in .js for JavaScript. Okay?
Okay.
So mkdir is for making a new directory.
Mm-hmm.
To create a new file, you have to use touch, like touch a hand, touch the door, touch space, and then your file name. So I'm going to call it app.js. You can call it whatever you want. Okay? Now I have a file called app.js in my node lesson folder. Now I am going to open app.js and edit it. So you can actually there's a special command you can do to open any file you want with a given program, but I'd rather not teach you how to do that. Instead, I'm just going to have you do it through Finder. So if you want to open the current folder that you're in Finder, all you need to do is type open space period. The period is the symbol that refers to your current folder. So you're saying open the current folder. And when you hit enter, you'll see that a Finder window pops up with your current directory and the file you just made. Follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I want you to right click and choose open with, and you're going to see text edit. Okay,
Okay.
I'm going to use my program that I like to use is Text Wrangler. So I'm going to open with Text Wrangler, and heck, this is what it looks like. Sorry, it's a little annoying. Whatever. So now you'll see app.js, right? I'm editing app.js in here. So if you go to the Node.js.org website, you'll see an example, right? This simple web server written in Node responds with hello world for every request. So I want you to copy everything that's in here. Okay. Copy this mother, and you're gonna paste it into your app.js file.
Wait, where did you get to the examples?
Node.js.org, the main website, it shows.
Oh, on the main website. Okay.
Yeah,
On the homepage?
yeah, on the homepage, nodejs.org.
Okay. Wait.
So
Oh, got it.
if you scroll down, you'll see like var http equals require http blah 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 blah. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
So going back, I copied and pasted all this cool magic in here, and then you're gonna hit Apple S to save. And now, congratulations, you've saved your first JavaScript server, Node server. Now we're gonna run it. So go back to terminal. I know this all seems like magic, but I'm just gonna explain it, and then I'm gonna run it, and then I'll explain what happened. Okay?
Okay.
So go back to terminal. All right, and now you're gonna type in node space app.js. Now, if you did everything correctly, you'll see it say server running at HTTP 127.0.0.1.1337. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I want you to do. Copy http://127.001.337/ that whole thing, right? Copy it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now go to your favorite web browser and paste it in the web browser. Okay. And hit enter, and you'll see it prints out hello world.
Okay.
It worked, right?
Um, yes.
Yeah. So what happened? If you go back to your app.js file, you'll see a couple of things here. Okay. So the first line, line 1 says var HTTP equals require HTTP semicolon.
Right.
So the var keyword describes that this next word is a variable. And a variable, I like to explain it as like a whole. So let's say that you have a garden, right? And you have to like fill it with stuff. So variables are holes in the ground that can hold a new plant, or it could be a post for a deck, anything, right?
Okay.
So you have to basically tell the computer, hey, here's a new hole, and you have to give that hole a label. So var says, I'm about to create a new hole.
Okay.
The thing that follows var is what the hole is named. Okay?
Okay.
You're creating a new variable called HTTP. The equal sign is an assignment operator. What you're saying is that the thing that follows this equal sign on the right-hand side is going to be what you put into the hole on the left-hand side of the equals sign. Okay? So you're saying take this require statement and then put it into HTTP. Okay? Now, require HTTP semicolon is a special method, or you can just consider it like a magic box that Node gives us. Node is a collection of code that does a whole bunch of really cool stuff for us, okay? So you're telling Node to require HTTP as a protocol.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so now HTTP, the variable, holds all this magic that Node gave us, okay? Then the line 3 says http dot create server. Okay, so this is a function call. So you're saying that the variable HTTP performs an action, and that action is going to be called create server. Okay, I know this is a little confusing, but I'm trying to like explain it step by step. Once you get to the videos that I sent you earlier, this stuff will start making more sense.
Okay.
Um, So you're saying the variable HTTP performs an action, also known as a method, right? HTTP has a method called create server. And inside this method, it's going to tell your web browser 200, which means everything's A-OK, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to end with a message saying hello world, and then the backspace end is just like as if you push the return key on Microsoft Word. It's called the new line, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so let's mess around with this a little bit. Okay, here's what I want you to do. Inside res.end and next to between the single quotes,
Mm-hmm.
type whatever you want. Okay? Type whatever the heck you want. I'm gonna say this is my first web server. That's what I'm gonna type.
Okay.
And then you want to save. Now we've changed our web server code. So in order to have this show up, you have to restart your Node server. So to restart your Node server, go back to terminal. All right, go back to terminal.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see that it still says server running at HTTP. You need to kill your server. So to kill your server, you hit Control, hold down Control, and then hit C. Okay,
Control.
and you'll see that like you get back your folder name and all this other stuff. right? There should be another line underneath server running after you hit Control C. And then you just type node space app.js again and restart your server. So now it should say server running again.
Okay.
Go back to your browser and hit refresh. And now it should show whatever you typed in.
Oh.
So this is how like basically the internet works, is that there's a computer out there for every website, and all that it does is it just listens for requests from browsers. So your browser is sending a request to a specific address on the network at the address 127.0.0.1 at a specific port called 1337.
Mm-hmm.
So your browser asks your network, hey, network, give me anything at the address 127.0.0.1.1337. And it just happens to be locally on your computer, you're running a server that's running at that address, 127.0.0.1.1337, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your browser sends a request, and if you look at your node, right, your node file, your app.js file, whenever it gets a request, it's going to respond with 200, which means, hey, browser, there's something here, and everything's fine, okay? And it responds back to your browser with, this is my first web server, or whatever the heck you put in here.
Oh, I see, I see.
Yeah, okay? So you can do some really cool stuff in here. Like, this is about as far as I'd like to take you on the first lesson. You can mess around with like putting all sorts of stuff in here. You can put HTML code in there. So I'm gonna just do an example. I think this works. Pretty sure it's gonna work. Whoops, I wanted. Stop it. Yeah, so this is actually now an HTML website that says "Hello World." Um,
Wait, what did you change?
so so the content type, it says res.writehead 200.
Okay.
In like internet, anything with a 200, 201, 202, all it says is like, hey, web browser, everything's cool. Like the server is handling this request, right? So 200 is a code that says everything's cool. 400s are like, hey, the user made a mistake. 500s are like, hey, the server is having problems. So 200 is like, you tell the browser or whoever's asking for your server, like everything's cool, okay? And then content type tells your browser, this is the kind of file the server is about to send back. So before, the content type was text/plain, which means that what I'm going to send back to you, interpret it as just normal, plain human text. Okay? I switched it from text./plain to text/HTML, right? And I changed the res.end, which is what your server sends back to the browser, right?
Mm-hmm.
I changed it from being this is my first web server to actual HTML code, which looks something like this.
Oh, okay.
Right. Uh, yeah, I mean, if you know HTML, you can do stuff like this. And since I just changed the app.js file, I have to restart the server, which is once again Control C to kill the server, and then node app.js. There's a shortcut in terminal that if you just hit up or down, it'll actually show you the last thing you typed. So I'm going to hit up for the last thing that I typed, hit enter, and it restart the server. Like this, hello world, this is the body, right?
Oh.
Yeah. If you right-click the website in your browser and you hit View Page Source, you can actually see the exact text
Oh, you.
sent back. right?
Mhm.
This is why like JavaScript right now is like so crazy, is because with technology, with programming packages, they're called like frameworks. With frameworks like Node, you can get a server up and running. Like we literally just got a server up and running in like 15 minutes.
Mhm.
So once we start learning, once you do the videos and you learn about like if statements and conditionals and all the other crap, we can start doing some really interesting stuff. Because you can have your server actually send HTTP requests to other servers on the internet, pull that information, and then send it back to whoever requested from your server. So we can do things like, hey, let's send a request to Flickr to get an image, right? And then take that image and then put it into HTML into the web browser's, HTML website. So
Nice.
now we're downloading images from Flickr.
Yeah.
Uh, Whenever you hear the term API, uh,
Uh-huh.
it's application programming interface, that basically means that a company has or an organization has a set of HTTP requests that are available for the public to use. So your node server can actually make requests to these APIs, get their information, and then send it back to the user through very similar requests like this, right? So
Mm.
JavaScript and the Node framework will allow you to build crap like this, which is kind of crazy because it used to be really hard to set up servers. But now we just did it in 15 minutes. Cool?
Wow. Crazy.
Crazy. If you use, there's other services like one of them is called Heroku, HEROKU.com. You can actually upload your app.js file to Heroku and they will host your server for you. So now instead of just being on your local machine, it'll actually be out on the internet.
Oh.
Yeah, for free, which is crazy. Get it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's gonna be the lesson for now. Once you review the freaking
The videos.
the videos, we'll go over that mother father. Sound good? Hold on.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more than happy to do this. So, let me know when you're done with the other stuff, and we can go over some really cool stuff. Um, yeah, but you really have to like get a good grasp of um, basic programming, like how to manipulate variables, if statements, loops, all that crap, before
Yeah,
you can get into any more cool stuff.
I do. Okay. I'm going to review this. I want to review the videos and then redo this whole video again.
Okay,
This lesson we just did. Yay, thank
I'm gonna
you.
stop the broadcast here.